My internet, that's my Google.
But I'm close.
It'll keep the power going.
You showed me how to do it earlier today.
Right.
So impressed.
Some of these, do the 851.
We're no hurry, Anna.
backfill.
You're gonna hate. We're having to.
You know,
No, they're good. I was the technical one, I guess.
You're right. I'm going to
We're good?
stab myself.
Okay.
I tried to get liquored up beforehand, but, participants.
I drink alone.
Welcome, everyone, to the Charter Township of Washington Board of Trustees regularly scheduled meeting of Wednesday, February 4th, 2026. If you'll all stand and please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you, everyone. If our Clerk Brown would please do roll call.
Nicely.
Here.
Chaplin.
Here.
Mylum.
Here.
Reinhold.
Here.
Stevenson.
Here.
Praviti.
Here.
Brown. Here.
All present. You see before you the agenda. If there's any additions, deletions, or motions. If not, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented. Supported by Stevenson. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. Next, you'll see the consent agenda. You're being asked to approve the accounts payable of January 29, 2026, and approve the minutes of the Board of Trustee meeting of January 21st, 2026. I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Seconded by Brown. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. We have no moved agenda items. Next is comments from the audience on any agenda items. Please come to the podium, state your name and address. You'll have 3 minutes. I know a lot of you are here obviously about the rezoning for possibility of a data warehouse. But since it is on the agenda, now would be the time to come to the board if you're interested. We do have a portion at the end of the meeting. You can talk about anything, but right now it's agenda item. So feel free to either make a line or come one at a time. It's up to you.
My name is John Tarlowa. I'm an Armada Township resident at Reed and Romeo Plank. Good evening, Chair and members of the board. I'd like to speak in support of directing the Planning Commission to draft zoning ordinances and ensure those ordinances are in alignment with the master plan for energy-intensive development, which includes data centers. I want to frame my comments using this risk analysis here that I will be formally providing to the township tonight. This analysis is not about any specific project. It focuses on governance, rezoning precedents, infrastructure, and utility capacity, environmental compatibility, fiscal exposure, and legal defensibility. Its central conclusion is clear. The greatest risk to the township comes from rezoning or approving uses before clear zoning standards are in place. Energy-intensive developments, to include data centers, or similar uses are lawful under Michigan law. But Michigan law does not require Washington Township to rezone land or demand or move forward without standards. Right now, the township lacks zoning language, specifically written for uses of this scale and intensity. And that gap is what is creating the majority of the risk. As outlined in the risk analysis, rezoning before standards exist is effectively irreversible in practice. Once land is rezoned, expectations change, future boards are constrained, and the township's ability to impose reasonable conditions is reduced. These decisions also receive heightened judicial scrutiny, especially if they appear inconsistent with the master plan. The analysis also makes clear that this does not need to be a heavy lift. The township's master plan is already open. Because of that, adding zoning ordinances or overlay standards and ensuring alignment with the master plan for energy-intensive development should be a straightforward extension of the work that's already underway. From a planning standpoint, this is about defining uses, establishing performance standards, and aligning them with the township's long-term vision. Importantly, the risk analysis recommends addressing energy-intensive uses alongside data centers. Doing so avoids the appearance of targeting single industry and strengthens the township's legal position by applying neutral, consistent standards. Directing ordinance drafting now preserves local control, protects taxpayers, gives future applicants clarity, and reduces the likelihood of rush rezoning decisions later. In short, this is about setting the rules before changing the map. I respectfully encourage the board to follow the recommendation in the Risk Analysis and Direct Planning Commission to draft the zoning ordinance while the master plan is already open before rezoning requests are submitted.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was a mouthful. Good job.
Yeah, if you have papers.
Good evening. My name is Carol, Bruce Township. I'm here representing a lot of people that couldn't make it, that work and stuff, again. First, I want to touch base on Article 2 of the Planning Commission bylaws, which state that the general purpose of Washington Township Planning Commission shall be to guide and promote the efficient, coordinated development of this township in a manner which will best promote the health, safety, and general welfare of its people. I just want that to be read again so that everybody knows that you guys are here to protect the health and safety of everybody. And even though I live in Bruce Township, I'm only a mile and a half away from that. And these environmental toxins that come out of these turbines on top of these data centers they can travel all the way to Oakland County. So nobody's going to be safe. But anyway, as you can see, the past month or so, the people you serve and the people who elected you have spoken their minds and made their voices very clear. They do not want this data center here, as well as the people from Bruce, Romeo, and surrounding areas, who will severely will be impacted and affected by the choice you make. You have one chance to get this right, one chance. If you don't, it will be horrific for all the surrounding communities, businesses, our farms, our beekeepers, our children's schools, and future generations. The water and wells will be tainted. The air that we breathe will be toxic. It will be an environmental disaster and crime for all. Palantir, a billion-dollar company from Denver, Colorado, can make all kinds of claims and promises because it's all about the money and their big agenda. But once they leave, they could care less about the people in townships they leave behind to flip the bill with skyrocketing water and electric bills, not to mention the 6G cell towers coming soon, 2030, for these data centers, which they can place in front of anyone's home. Remember this. Please remember this. God created every living thing. He knows what you're thinking, what you've done, and every hair in your head. So if you make the wrong decision for his people and all living things, the air that we breathe, the water we drink to survive, you will destroy all that God has created. And each one of you will be held accountable. These data centers are demonic. It's all about the money, blood money. I've said it before. You know about the environmental impact this will put on all humanity. I have talked about it in previous meetings as well as others. I have sent you all kinds of information from the experts in the field, the videos to educate yourselves, so please do the right thing. You must be leaders, not followers. You must do the right thing for all, even when it's hard to do. We are God's hands and feet, remember that. God is watching, and so are we. You need to be tough, set an example for the other townships and cities to follow by making the right right decision in saying no data centers here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Supervisor Praviti, members of the board. I'm Danielle Barrett. I live on 28 Mile in Washington. Oh, thank you for the opportunity to comment. I'm here to support updating our ordinance before the township allows any rezoning, data centers, or other high-intensity industrial land use to move forward. Data centers operate very differently from typical commercial buildings, as we all know. They use a lot more power, they rely on backup generators, they use a lot of water. We know these things. Our current ordinances don't spell out how to manage those impacts in a clear or enforceable way, especially when developers make claims that they'll be using cutting-edge technology, and we don't know what that means. Other communities, including Bruce Township, have already recognized this gap and are writing data center-specific rules. Washington Township should absolutely be doing the same now. We need clear standards for power demand, generator testing, water use disclosure, noise limits that reflect 24-hour operation, and setbacks from homes and schools. These updates will protect residents and also give applicants a predictable process in our township. I also want to address this particular applicant in a fair and factual way. Public records show that this company has faced environmental compliance issues and is in ongoing litigation tied to a 2021 warehouse fire in Carson, California. That history doesn't predetermine anything here, but it does make it reasonable that the township should require complete site-specific plans showing how they would meet our ordinances and operate responsibly on our land. That includes detailed plans for stormwater and runoff protections, materials handling, fire risk and emergency response coordination, and how impacts will be monitored over time. These are standard components of responsible industrial planning, and they're especially important when these parcels may be used for high-intensity activity. Updating our ordinances first and requiring full site-specific plans from any applicant is not anti-development. It's simply good governance. It protects the township, it protects the residents, and it ensures that whatever gets built here is safe, compatible, and well-managed for the long run. And finally, I just want to thank the members of the board for their honesty and transparency over the last few weeks. We truly appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Corinne Graper. I live in Washington Township. I want to thank you all for putting ordinances on the agenda tonight. Much appreciate it. And also, I would encourage you to vote yes to move forward with ordinance work. And also want to thank you for your transparency. I am concerned about the fact that Lansing lobbyists have reached out to at least one of you to talk about data centers. I imagine it could be more of you, that the transparency, Audrey, about that, and please continue to be transparent about that with us. I also want to bring to the board's attention the formal resolution adopted by the Village of Romeo in January, I think it was January 26th. I don't know if you heard about this. This matters because it places Washington Township on notice of specific foreseeable off-site impacts extending beyond our borders. Romeo identified potential impacts including construction traffic, strain on emergency services, electrical reliability concerns, groundwater impacts, and ongoing noise, lighting, and visual effects. Importantly, the village made clear it is not opposing data centers as a general land use. Its concern is the location and proximity of the specific proposal and the fact that many impacts would be borne by Romeo residents. Under Michigan planning principles, compatibility analysis does not stop at municipality borders, so it doesn't stop at Washington Township. Once a neighboring municipality formally documents these concerns, they become part of the record. Ignoring them increases procedural and legal risk. I am not suggesting this resolution dictates the outcome, of course, but it confirms this is not a purely local decision for Washington Township and that cross-boundary impacts must be evaluated on the record. You can see there's also many people here from Bruce and Ray and Armada, and I could imagine they also may create resolutions. So we respectfully ask the board to do three things. Direct that data centers be defined as a distinct land use, adopt ordinances addressing their known operational impacts and the scale of the risks, and complete this work transparently and deliberately before rezoning decisions resume. I also want to add in that, well, Camille will actually add it in, but to manage the scale and the risks of zoning decisions for parcels that are this large. So obviously, as I spoke in last time, it's a huge risk to have one parcel, and so in zoning ordinances, you can write in protections for those large zoning areas. Since I have 22 seconds, I will also say, please don't be reassured by words like cutting edge technology. If someone says, don't worry, we're using cutting edge technology, that's a cause to worry. As I had told you before, I own an environmental and social responsibility consulting firm. We consult to large corporations, and there are times when companies will say things full knowing that they cannot ideally deliver on those things, and they will make the decision to take the fines anyway. So please regulate through your ordinances. Thank you.
Thank you.
Members of the Planning Commission, township officials, and members of the public. My name is Valentino Galafati, owner and advocate for Client Advocate Rights, LLC. I'm here with the community, and I'm speaking today to formally object to proposed rezoning associated with the Prologis Data Center project. For those of you that aren't familiar with it, Prologis is the company that opted for this proposal that is from California. They're coming into our backyard. The objection is grounded in the Michigan Constitution, the United States Constitution, and the Michigan Zoning Enabling Act, meaning it doesn't stop here with them. If you're not educated in this, the branches of government don't stop with them. They don't make the final decision. The objection is grounded, and residents across the township have raised serious and legitimate concerns regarding environmental risk, water usage, infrastructure strain, noise, heat, air quality, and so forth. Under Article 1, Section 17 of the Michigan Constitution and the 14th Amendment of the United States Constitution, residents are guaranteed substantive and procedural due process. A public hearing that merely allows comments without meaningful consideration, findings of fact, or response is constitutionally defective. A hearing without consideration is no hearing at all. Municipal zoning authority exists only under the police power to protect public health, safety, and welfare. Michigan compiled laws 125.3101. That authority does not permit rezoning actions that are arbitrary, capricious, or designed primarily to benefit a private commercial developer at the expense of existing residents. Rezoning that imposes environmental and quality of life burdens on residents while conferring private benefit violates substantive due process. The statute authorizes zoning only when it advances public welfare, not private economic advantage. Further, under Article 1, Section 17 of the Michigan Constitution and the 5th Amendment of the United States Constitution, government action that substantially interferes with the use and enjoyment of residential property diminishes property value. Everyone's home here will diminish in value. And you can see it in the other states and cities that already exist in the United States now. I also explicitly invoke Michigan Environmental Protection Act, Michigan compiled laws 324.1701, which allows any person to act to prevent conduct that is likely to cause pollution, impairment, or destruction of natural resources before harm occurs. I had more to say, however, my time is up. It doesn't end with them, and you all have to understand that.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, everyone. Hello. How's this? Yeah? Can you hear me? Okay. First, I want to say thank you for placing data center ordinances on the agenda and preparing for a large crowd. We actually have some time to talk about this today, so I do really appreciate that since we've been asking for it. We support this step, and we're asking you to use this time, use this pause before any rezoning decisions are made to put strong and clear rules in place. I actually heard from some community members who couldn't be here tonight for funerals and other things, that they're concerned that even just having ordinances is not good if they're not good ordinances. So please, opening this is what we want, but we want them to be strong. We want them to be effective. And if, we get to be picky. We just approved an $18 million DPW building, so we have the money to be a little bit picky about what we put in, okay? And first, we're asking that this is defined as a distinct land use, data centers specifically. In the zoning ordinance, these facilities operate continuously. They place infrastructure demands that are materially different from other uses. So it's not a warehouse. It is very specifically something completely different. Clear definitions protect the township by ensuring decisions are based on how data centers function and not assumptions about how they function. Second, we ask that the ordinances address known impact areas upfront, including electrical demand, backup generators, water use, wastewater discharge, noise, lighting, and standards for both of those with active monitoring at all times. That it should also address proximity to residential areas and schools, and construction and traffic impacts, which we also heard about for the DPW building today. These are just standard considerations, just like I said, for any other thing. And these are standard for such a high impact facility, and these should be addressed at the ordinance level while the township still has some leverage to make those rules. Third, we want to ask that the ordinances include safeguards against large-scale overbuilding or incomplete development. For projects of this scale, this can be done through established zoning tools such as phased development, reasonable build-out timelines, and financial assurances tied to completion or stabilization. And yep, that's it. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Can your time's up. Sam, could you just clarify, I want to make sure we're understanding correctly. You said data warehouse. Was that just a misspoken statement? Do you really just mean data center? Because they're two different zoning things. So we're all understanding.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard both, so I just.
That verbiage isn't even on the record.
Sorry.
You're utilizing technical terms.
Okay.
It just matters from a zoning standpoint. So if the ordinance is for a warehouse versus a data center, it's different. So I just want to clarify that for the town.
We'll address
It can maybe
both.
help.
We'll address
Yeah.
both when it
Maybe
comes
Robert
time.
can help.
Okay.
Good evening, council. Thank you so much for bringing this to head so we can all talk about it for sure. My name is Holly Bishop, and I live at 33 in Powell, and I will continue to come to you as a terrified resident. As so much information is pouring out, and it's coming fast and furious, and everything is proving that data centers are nothing but destructive. I haven't heard one good thing yet. Who benefits from it? What does Washington Township and the neighboring 4 towns get from this decision? I really don't know if we'll ever get an answer. So I pray. I thank God for my voice. I pray that he protect the people, land, and animals. I pray that he put his hands on the board members and council to help them see past whatever dangles in front of them and see a thriving community that love their home and are scared of what our future holds. I pray the devil stays away from us, our neighbors, and our community. I put my life in God's hands, but somehow you guys all have control of the basic needs of my survival. Just my fundamental needs. I don't know you guys, at all, and you have control over my air, water, food, and future. Have you ever watched somebody die from cancer? Or watched a kid struggle to breathe? Or experience a class full of kids that can't concentrate? Have you watched people debilitated by anxiety or depression, or watched a family unable to conceive? I've chosen to help people for my whole lifetime, so I do look at all these things. So let me tell you, the number of diagnoses that will lead to death will grow substantially with a data center. You'll definitely see and hear about the rising numbers of illnesses and people leaving the area. It won't be safe outside due to the air pollution, EMF waves, and unsafe noise levels. It won't be safe to drink our water or take baths, and we'll be lucky if our wells don't dry up. Our food will not be nutrient dense, and people will be forced to have bioengineered food. It will not be safe to grow or eat from our gardens, and farms will be tainted, and farms with the tainted soil, grass, air, and water. What will the livestock, dairy, and crop farmers do? What will Coldframe, Raven Oaks, Farmers' Daughters, Frontier, Crooked Creek, Northern Farms, Westview, Millers, Cutchee, Verelian, Mary's Garden, Walcott Mill, Romeo Lavender, Fokker Family Farm, Silverwoods Farm, Zenson's, Good Luck Farm, Hoxie Farm, along with the trillion other farms that we're surrounded and so blessed to have. We're blessed to be in this country, and we're blessed to be surrounded by farms, orchards, and grazing animals, all that provide for our community. We have flower fields and wildlife, wetlands, and all these residents that really do love their home, I think. Look around and please see the big picture. You took an oath committing to act with care, skill, and diligence in the best interest of the people and prioritize the public or organization's best interest over personal agendas. Be the leader, protect us, say no to data centers. Please save this. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
My name is Don Van Hoody, 69475 Romeo Plank Road. First of all, praise the Lord. If we don't have him, we don't have nothing. I'm a farmer here for like 60 years, growing up here as a kid. And we depend on, first of all, we depend on the Lord, and he takes care of us every day. And I was just more concerned about our water, how many millions of gallons are going to pump out of the ground. My main concern is that, and just for the environment also. But that's the one thing I have to say about the farmers, because we do a lot of work here, and we're a lot of hard workers. And this is the best life in the world. Thank you. Praise the Lord.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Marty Hutnick. I am a Washington Township resident and a Romeo business owner, so I am affected multiple ways as well as everyone else. But first of all, I just want to say real quick, about 2 weeks ago, I had a conversation with Mickey Lolich, who is a Washington Township resident. And I said, hey, Mickey, how do you feel about this data center they're wanting to put in? He's like, what the hell is that about? So today, Mickey passed away this morning. So I just have one word from him, or I just have one thing to say from him. What the hell are you doing? But anyways, as I said, I am a Washington Township resident, and I also own Four Corners Diner in Romeo, less than a mile from the proposed 32-mile technical campus site. I am here tonight wearing both hats, as a resident and a local business owner whose livelihood depends on a healthy, vibrant community on both sides of the township border. Small businesses like myself are sensitive to things that large corporations often aren't. Water pressure matters, electrical reliability matters, noise and construction disruption matter. Even short disruptions can mean lost revenue, canceled reservations, damaged equipment, or unhappy customers who don't come back. If a large energy and water intensive facility is built just across the road and it affects water pressure, electric, or infrastructure reliability in the surrounding area, business like mine will feel it first. We don't have backup generators. We don't have redundancy. We absorb the risk ourselves. I am also concerned about construction impacts. Prolonged construction traffic, road congestion, and detours can change customer behavior quickly. When people decide it's too hard to get downtown, they don't always return, even after the construction ends. Beyond day-to-day operations, I care deeply about the character and the vitality of downtown Romeo. Our downtown depends on people wanting to live nearby, visit, walk around, and spend time there. Anything that undermines the surrounding area's quality of life, whether that's industrial noise, visual impacts, affects the entire local community, not just one township. I want to be clear, I'm not here to oppose economic development. I'm here to ask that decisions be made carefully with full consideration of regional impacts and the businesses and residents who will live with the consequences. As someone who lives in Washington and runs a business in Romeo, I ask the board to take the cross-border impact seriously, to put clear rules and protections in place before any rezoning decisions are made, and to ensure the development strengthens rather destabilizes the communities we depend on. Thank you for listening.
Good evening, Board. Thanks for taking the time to listen to everyone. My name is Chris Judich. I'm on 31 Mile between Van Dyke and Powell. I'll keep it pretty simple today. I spoke before about all my concerns, but mainly I just want to talk about ordinances if we do put them into place to get a little specific. So for me, when looking at the noise issue, that's one huge one, right? Traditional noise limits are written for intermediate or high frequency sound. A data center is totally different. It's a low bass type sound, and it's measured totally differently. So that's kind of one thing I actually wrote up in an ordinance that you guys can kind of follow. And there's different ways where you can measure high frequency versus low frequency and appropriate setbacks as far as, to residents, to schools, and how far, those can actually travel and how, they can actually affect people. So I'll hand that to you as well. I have a whole fact sheet of pretty much how these low decibel waves can affect people. So, from 500 feet to 1,500 feet away, it's clearly audible inside homes, right? Up to a half a mile away, it's still detectable as a hum. And you can even feel a little pressure, right? So it's still, up to a half a mile away. A mile or more, it's not heard, but actually felt. You can have head pressure, window vibration, sleep disruption. So, that's just keeping it simple. It's very bad as far as, people that have insomnia or kids that have special needs and have a hard time learning. These low frequency bass, vibrations are a much different animal than, a concert where it's, a higher, high pitch. So there's a different way to measure that. And I just kind of got an ordinance lined out for you guys where you can see the different measurements in decibels. And it's, just something you guys can go off of. So I'll keep it pretty short and sweet, but that's about it.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Council. I'm Dr. Alexandria Trombley. As a scientist, I learned how to evaluate an argument critically, consider all the relevant pieces of information, and weigh the risks and rewards. As a community member and as a human, I've learned that the needs of the many outweigh the wants of the few. That wealth means nothing if we ruin our environment, and that if you bend to lobbyists and to corporations who are not invested in our community, we'll suffer for it. But if we make community-led decisions and we think critically about what will benefit us all as a whole, our communities can thrive. Council, look at this room. Look at how many of your constituents showed up. We're all tired. We all work today. When we go home, we all have responsibilities waiting for us, but we care. So we're here. Do your job and care too. Data centers that expose us to carcinogens, increase our energy bills, and monopolize a finite commodity as precious as our drinking water are a huge risk. The rewards do not measure up. When there are instabilities in our power grid, who will be prioritized? When the AI bubble inevitably pops, what will happen to these data center infrastructures? I want to know what securities you can offer us in exchange for the sacrifices that data centers will inevitably cost us. Your constituents are begging you to think about this like a scientist and to think about it like a human. You've received very specific recommendations here tonight from people who are smarter than I am, and you have the power to either be a line of defense for your community or to capitulate to wealthy corporations who see us, our labor, and our environment as disposable. This really is a pivotal moment that allows you to demonstrate to us whether you stand for working people or for rich oligarchs. I know where your constituent stands. I think you know that too. Choose to listen to us. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Harper Savage. I live at 32 Mile near the middle school. I am a student at Romeo High School. I'm not sure if this is the proper time to address this, but as a student at Romeo High School, we are filming a news package, a documentary about the data center and the process that our town is facing about it. So if I may address the audience, we would love if you guys would come out and share your opinions with us. We'd love to film you if you're all right with that. We've been at every meeting so far, and we plan to be at every meeting until the outcome comes. Thank you so much for hearing us all out.
Hi, my name is Valeria from Ray Township, and I'd like to remind you that we supposedly live in a constitutional republic where the people have all the power. We tell you what to do. You don't tell us what we do. The government should not have their foot on our necks telling us what to do. We have told you, we do not want data centers. You don't have a choice. You have to listen to we, the people. You really don't have a choice, because if you choose to go against the people, that's treason. Do you know what the crime or the punishment is for treason in this country under a constitutional republic? You should look it up and be very afraid, because we, the people, are mad. We don't want this data center. You have a constitutional obligation to listen to we, the people. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Carlos Pisano. I hope that you're able to hear me right now, because this is the sound of a data center. And it's just a way for you to visualize and hear how this is going to be for everyone. Everyone who's close by, everyone who is there, all the schools that are close by. So I can repeat myself if you didn't hear me. I can try again. We can do this 3 minutes. So, yeah. So it's annoying. It's going to be annoying, and it's just noise, you know. They talked about the ground, the air, the water, you know, the electricity. So, yeah, everyone has said loud and clear, this is not what we want. So you're going to open ordinances and all that. Other communities who are very neighborly, as we heard last meeting, they implement moratoriums, and I don't see why we can't just follow and be neighborly and support the other communities, the other people from those communities that are here too. So think about that, and yeah, just do what is best for your community. I also want to remind the people, the Stop the Data Center residents group will be holding a peaceful rally to raise awareness. Many residents still don't know 312-acre rezoning is being considered. Bring homemade signs, invite friends and neighbors. This is about visibility, education, and civic participation. Being informed and involved is how communities protect their future. The community rally is this Sunday. I know that other people have different plans. I'm aware of that. But those happen later. So the rally starts at 1 and it ends at 3 p.m. It's going to be on 26 Mile Road on the 53 overpass. You can meet at Home Depot or Maya parking lot, and you can walk over. Let's all be together and speak our voices and support this cause. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Someone's coming.
Good evening, Council. My name is John Golan. I live at 31 in Campground, Bruce Township. So I come to you tonight not as a constituent, but as a neighbor. There's a lot of people in the surrounding area that come to this meeting, and we don't want this data center. We moved to this community, my wife and I, with our 2 young kids, and we don't want them growing up and going to school less than a mile from that development. So I ask you this, council, be a good neighbor to the community. Zone this properly and do something good for the community with this property, but don't put this data center in.
Anyone else? Going once. We'll have an opportunity at the end of the meeting, again, if you guys want. Otherwise, going once, going twice. Okay, thank you. Next is item 7, legal counsel. Okay. Next is item 8, it's a public hearing for the Community Development Block Grant public hearing. So with that, I open the public hearing first, right? Yeah. So I'll make a motion to open the public hearing.
Second?
Seconded by Brown. Can I do all in favor? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. So for those of you that don't know, we get obviously Community Development Block Grant. We get money from the county. Now it's open to anyone to approach the board about, I don't know, Dana, you can explain it. You kind of oversee the committee, sorry. Before I say something wrong.
Now that the public hearing is open, if there's any service
Request.
provider that's here, they can approach the board and explain a little bit about what it is that they do, what they have to offer, and go from there.
Are there any groups here? Yeah, okay. Yeah, feel free. You don't have a 3-minute limit, don't worry. You don't have a 3-minute.
I won't be 3 minutes.
Thanks.
Good evening. Thank you for this opportunity to speak tonight. My name is Irene Larson. I'm here with my husband, Mark, and we are on the board at the Samaritan House. And we live right here in Washington Township. It has been another very busy year at the Samaritan House. We were able to fill the gap, during the government shutdown with the SNAP program. And we were able to continue to meet the needs of our community, providing fresh meat, dairy, produce, personal hygiene, and cleaning supplies. Samaritan House is not just a box of food. We meet face-to-face with our clients, assessing their needs. We have vast resources for the clients. Besides clients coming to visit our pantry on a monthly basis, we offer boxes of food filled with items specifically for Easter and Thanksgiving, along with gift cards to purchase the meat of their choice. We provide coats and boots for children in kindergarten through 5th grade. We also provide backpacks and supplies. For Christmas, we ensure gifts and food cards for our families. We deliver groceries monthly to homebound. And the Accounting Aid Society uses our building during tax season to prepare income tax free of charge. For Washington Township, we provided food assistance to 150 families, most who visit our pantry on a monthly basis. This equates to 57,311 meals at a cost of $171,931. We provided 76 families with an Easter box and 81 families with Thanksgiving food boxes, along with a $25 gift card. Our backpack program provided a backpack and supplies to 29 children. 25 children received new boots and a coat through our boot and coat program. 85 families received gifts and food cards for Christmas. We respectfully request $9,000 in community block grant funds to support this work. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi there, my name is Ajisha Varghese. I'm the Director of Family Advocacy,
at Care House in Macomb County. Care House is Macomb County Child Advocacy Center with their main office in Mount Clemens and a satellite office in Warren. Care House is the only agency in Macomb County who offers comprehensive services for child victims of sexual abuse, physical abuse, or children who have witnessed a violent act. We also provide support to their non-offending family members. Our goal is to minimize trauma for the child victim and to provide coping skills, advocacy, and case management for the family. We collaborate with all law enforcement jurisdictions in Macomb County, Child Protective Services, the Macomb County Prosecutor's Office, medical and mental health professionals as well. A summary of the services that we provide are crisis counseling services, forensic interview services, child safety and trauma assessments, parent and child support groups, trauma-focused therapy sessions, assistance with crime victim compensation, interpreter and transportation services as needed as well, ongoing case management, access to medical exams, and a family resource center with full family support. As the designated counsel in Macomb County for the Michigan Children's Trust Fund, Care House also offers child abuse prevention information and education to children in the community. Families are never charged for any of their services they receive at Care House, and we provide services to all referred families, which are the children and their non-offending family members. I'm proud to report that according to our most recent independent financial audit, 89 cents of every dollar that comes to Care House is specifically devoted to serving children and families in our community. Care House opened our doors in 1996, and since then, we have coordinated 11,800 forensic interviews, with 210 residing in Washington. In 2024, we conducted 620 forensic interviews, and 12 resided in Washington. Last year, in 2025, we conducted 595 forensic interviews, and 5 resided in Washington. We deeply depend on support from the community to provide a voice for child victims and a safe place for them to be heard. We're very grateful for your past support, and we respectfully request your consideration for funding in this upcoming year in the amount of $1,000 to support services for 2 qualifying child victims and their families that reside in Washington. We are very grateful for all the support in the past.
Thank you. Would you like to give the website or phone number out? Or?
Yeah, you can call Care House at 586, I was going to give my phone number, 586-463-0123. And if you follow us on Facebook, all of our information is on there for our website, LinkedIn, all of that. And you just search Macomb County Care House.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other group? Oh, yeah, come on.
Good evening, Supervisor and Trustees. My name is Jennifer Fisher, and I am the Development Director for Maggie's Wigs for Kids of Michigan. We are a local grassroots 501c3 nonprofit organization that provides wigs and support services to children between the ages of 3 through 18 at no charge throughout the state of Michigan who may be experiencing hair loss. That can be due to cancer, alopecia, or any other medical disorder. Founded in 2003 by Maggie Varney, our founder and CEO, we have spent the last 23 years working at no charge to help these children and their families, and we're honored to say we've helped 6,000 Michigan families since she started the organization. And we've helped children as far as the Upper Peninsula. We've helped kids from 58 counties, including families right here in Washington Township. So with our program, in addition to the wigs that we provide, we have classes, social activities, field trips, counseling. We offer makeup and skincare to help the kids with a positive self-image. We have an enchanted tea room. They can come in and have a tea party and just forget about being sick for a while. We have fitness and nutrition classes if they need support with that. And we also have a VR for Kids program. This is really cool. We give virtual reality headsets to the children. They take them home or to the hospital, and it helps them with pain management, meditation, and relaxation when they're going through their health challenge. So it has a lot of emotional and psychological benefits. And this is our third year doing that piece of our programming. We won an award from Crane's Detroit Business as notable leaders in healthcare technology for having this available. We were the first nonprofit in that category to be awarded, so we're very proud of that piece of our programming. And I do have to say, as the parent of a childhood cancer survivor, when my daughter was diagnosed with cancer, bone cancer at 9 years old, I had been with Maggie's Wigs for Kids in Michigan for 12 years at that point, but I was still scared. I didn't know what to expect. And she was able to not only come in and get a wig, she participated in all of the support services that I mentioned. And it really helped her because she didn't have to feel alone. She was with other kids who understood, and she received the support she needed at no charge. So this program really is helping the kids in all of our communities. And we do respectfully request to have support for one more child through the CDBG funds this coming grant cycle in the amount of $1,200. But we are grateful for any amount you can give. We will put it to good use. It's going to go right back to the kids. So, and most importantly, if you ever know of a child in need of our services, we do ask that you please refer them to us. We help everybody. We charge nothing. We turn no one away. You can find us online, www.wigsforkids.org with the number 4. And our phone number is 586-772-6656 if you know of a child in need. And I can answer any questions.
How's your daughter doing?
She's doing much better. We just went in. Her scans were clear. So she's doing much better. And we're striving toward remission. They won't call remission for until the 5-year mark, so we're waiting. But we're getting one step closer, so we're very grateful.
Ready to ring the bell?
Yes.
Good.
Thank you.
Does each wig cost $1,200 or?
Yes. Yep. It's actually a little more than that, which you'll see on some materials I have prepared, but we do provide a portion of the cost through our Wigs for Kids General Fund. So it's almost like a match in a way. We ask for just a portion of CDBG funds, and we do try to keep those requests reserved based on the average of kids we've seen from your community in the last couple of years. So that's why we only ask for one.
No, thank you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else from any other organization?
Okay, let me look down the list here for 1 second.
Hearing none, then I'll make a motion to close public hearing.
Support?
Supported by Chaplain. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. Next now is the unfinished business, 9.1, allocation of the Community Development Block Grant Funds, the CDBG funds. Did you want to present what the committee did, or?
Are we all doing
you
this?
guys?
Go ahead. Yeah,
Can you explain what the committee's on?
Yeah, let me, the big overview is that, HUD through the counties provides us with this money, and it's, and we get a limited amount every year to spend in our community to support charities that do work in our community. Our total this year is $14,430 that we have to divide up between all the organizations that are asking for money. We like to spread it out as well as we can. The committee was going through the numbers for the past calendar year and looking at the amounts that were spent. And one of the questions that we had as a committee, and I realize there are some people here who or some people who aren't here to answer for their organizations, but the money that's allocated by Washington Township is required to be spent in the township. And we had a couple people who had requested money, and I'm going to point to Maggie's Wigs for Kids for one, and it was Care House, since you're the two that are represented tonight. We saw that you had requested $1,000 the previous calendar year, and we saw that you underspent that by $1,000. Now, I know there's still some time left in your year. Do you anticipate spending those funds in Washington by the end of your cycle, or? Yeah, yeah, if you would, please. Yeah, because like I said, we get a lot of requests from a lot of different organizations, and if the money that we allocate to the organization doesn't get spent, then it goes back to the county.
That's a great question, and thank you very, very much for asking it. In the materials I did provide, what happens is we service all the kids, right? We give all of our services away for free. And we don't look at their income levels in terms of, are we going to help them or not? It doesn't matter what your income level is to us, we're going to help you. With HUD, what they do is they have an income limit that they set for a nonprofit to request reimbursement in CDBG funding. So they'll say, these are low to moderate income families, you can only use CDBG funding for low to moderate income families. Well, on the list of the kids that we provided, there's a couple families who've been coming over the last 2 years, but they're higher income levels. So we can't submit the draw request for that funding. We help them regardless, but we can't use the CDBG funds for those couple kids. And we never know exactly who's coming through our doors because we work with all the 9 hospitals that provide the pediatric oncology. We help kids who are referred by dermatologists. So I never know where these kids are going to come from, just that we're going to help them. So there might be a low to moderate income family that comes from your township that we can use the CDBG money for, but there's just no way to know.
Right.
So that's why we try to keep those requests very reserved.
But Jen, weren't you asking if they were going to be able to use the funds before they expired?
Well, that's it. I know you've got some time left this year. I don't know whether you've got anybody locally that you're anticipating using those funds for. Hopefully, you'll be able to help somebody with them, but that was, sort of the question. Because we like I said, we like to disseminate it amongst organizations that can actually use the money. And
Absolutely.
while what you do is great, I would like to see the money get spent.
Absolutely.
And I know that, it's not up to you guys
Right.
where your people come from.
Right.
So it's I don't want to be mean to anybody, but I want to see the money actually get used.
What happens if they don't use it by the time? I mean, it doesn't go away, I know.
No, it goes back to the county.
Right.
And so it doesn't help anybody locally in Washington. So that's the idea. Every municipality around here gets a certain amount allocated, and then these organizations will go around each municipality and ask for help in their municipality so they can spend it there. We just want to make sure that we're distributing it in a way that it goes to the charities in Washington that are going to use it. So,
And the grant
Absolutely
year,
understandable.
The grant year ends June 30th, 2026, correct? So they could,
so there's
they still could
Still time.
use it,
Yeah,
right?
that's
That's
what
why
I was
we're asking, because we just want to
Yeah.
make sure, because you could use it.
That's our goal. That's our hope.
And if you look at the total amount too, as far as what was requested, was $22,870. We have $14,430, and $3,000 comes out, so it leaves us with $11,430 to allocate, and we have $22,870 in requested
Right.
money, so.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's what I wanted
Thank you.
clarification on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other committee members have any comments or suggestions at this point?
Thank you for taking the hard
Yeah,
job.
we
That's a
have
hard
the
work.
It's not a hard job. I wish we just had more money to give away to everybody.
That's why it's hard,
Like, we can only fund part of it.
right?
I'm saying, I see on here, they've helped 5 in Washington, 2 recently.
Yeah.
They are helping Washington.
And then we did have a new organization, the Single Family Living, that had requested funds this year too. So we're expanding the number of people or the number of organizations that we're able to help by adding a new one in.
I was wondering, is there anybody from that organization here tonight? Because I was reading that they need help with their setting up their facility, getting their financials, that kind of thing.
I wish they had a rep here.
I do too, I really do.
Yeah, and the county does notify all the service providers, so they're aware of the public hearing, and we do appreciate those that take the time to attend. Did the board have any questions on the allocation that the committee had recommended?
I do have a question. So are we voting all of these, your recommendations, or are we breaking them out individually?
All at once.
We usually
All
vote
at
all
once?
at once.
Because I do have a concern for the one company that's not here that needs help setting up their crux of their business, the crux of their program hasn't been set up altogether yet, and we're giving them funds. I'm a little bit nervous about that, but I trust the committee.
Clarify for me on what you are hearing. I mean, you say they're not set up.
So I read that
Are they not incorporated yet, or are they just, because I'm thinking it's like they need people to help move furniture. Or are
I
you saying
wish
that they
it
don't
was-
have their corporate structure in place yet?
So it-
Or their
what I was
nonprofit
reading,
structure?
What I read is it said they have billing issues, they have some program requirements that they haven't washed out yet, so that was making me a teeny bit nervous. I mean, I trust that you guys put the pencil to it, I really trust what you guys have done. I was just a little bit wondering about that. and was hoping somebody was here to speak to that subject.
Yeah, unfortunately, they didn't send a representative to answer those questions.
I'm sure they would have to be vetted by the county or even
Yes.
qualify.
Well, they just says it has minimum CDGB experience with required technical assistance. They would need technical assistance for billing, eligibility, and program requirements. So that makes me a little nervous.
You got to start somewhere.
Well, I'm going to turn to Dana. No, and not specifically about them, but you've been doing this for a lot longer than we have. And if you have any insight into their eligibility to get into this program and receive the CDBG funds for organizations, the type of qualifications that they have to go through.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, they have they have
I mean,
to
they're
meet
clearly in the
certain-
program.
Right.
Correct, and they have to start somewhere, and I think this is kind of their starting point, they have to, but, I mean, as far as what we're recommending as a committee, that's up for discussion. If there's a change in amounts that you want to allocate to the service providers, I mean, that's definitely a discussion.
I mean, I don't want to take away from the committee's work, but
Don't take it.
Feel free.
I mean, again, Maggie's Wigs for Kids, it touches my heart. Sorry. I would bump that up to 1,000 and take away from single-family living since it's a newer organization and reduce that to 480. That would be my change, or my recommendation. But
Supervisor Privitti's idea.
Yeah.
100% I would support that, but my only thing is Maggie's Wigs for Kids didn't even use their money yet from this season. So that's my only concern there.
no, I get it. Well, I mean, they're going to.
Well, the 2024 completed that program year, and the way the program years run, so July 1st, 2024 to June 30th of 2025. So right now, we're not finished with the cycle yet. So they still have some time to use what was allocated last year. But what we have completed was from that 2024 program year.
And because I'm cheating, can we say, did Maggie's Wigs use their previous years?
Well, they did, that's the only one that I have from the county, and they didn't use the funds that were allocated by the board, but then what was explained is that, there's income levels too of who they're servicing.
See, I don't want
So
this-
they could have serviced
No, I get it.
residents, in Washington Township, but maybe they just had a different income level, and that's why they didn't qualify for the funding.
Okay. So where's the representative from Maggie's Wigs? I lost it in the audience.
Sorry. We keep calling you back up. Sorry.
Okay, a quick question. Do you know if you used, in previous years, have you used all the allocated funds?
I do believe so, but I can check into that. I can go through our financial records with our founder and CEO, Miss Maggie, and I can get back with you.
I mean, going by my past recollection, I know they have, but I can't put my hand on a Bible either.
No,
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean-
you have a pretty astute mind for finances. I
Yeah,
wouldn't
no, no,
trust
That's not a problem.
situation.
We can get you an email tomorrow, if that's okay.
I think we have a good pulse right now. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I
Sorry.
support Sam in your thoughts.
Well, I don't want to.
Well, I'm just
Oh, no,
saying,
you did it now.
if you want to go down that path and talk about that, I think it might be worth talking about.
No, okay.
So you see the difficulty when you start trying to figure out how to split the baby here.
That's why I said it's a hard job.
We really don't have open comments.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You mentioned that, or someone mentioned it's a new organization, SPL. I just Googled real quick, it's 2013. It's 2000, it's not new. They're just new with the process.
Yeah.
Of the CDBG.
Right, we understand
Yeah, no,
that,
we
but
know
there was some stuff that they need to do to fit into this program that hasn't quite been done yet. That's what we're saying. So there's a little bit,
Sorry, let me explain this. This is money given by the county to the 27 municipalities. Then it's given to each of the 27 municipalities to give to local organizations within our county, obviously. So
All right. And
that's not.
And I don't want to pick on Maggie's Wigs for Kids, because, they're doing great work. I want to pick on Care House, wherever their rep is. Because they fell a little bit short in your allocations for the previous year also. But I appreciate the fact that you guys came out and sent representatives to the hearing. So what I could do, or what I'd like to do then, is if we want to adjust the numbers, I would recommend taking the single-family living as a new organization down to the 480, splitting the extra 500 between Care House and Maggie's Wigs for Kids and bumping them both up to a 750 allocation. So does anybody have any heartburn with that?
I would support that.
750 for Maggie's.
Yeah, I'll read out the
750 for Care
numbers.
House. I see it, yeah, I see it.
Is there any way WBRW can throw up the the chart? Sorry. Just so people in the audience can see what we're talking about.
The 9.1?
Yeah, yes, sorry,
9.1
9.1.
cover sheet,
Yeah.
so they know, yeah, what we're talking
Do you want me to read through them? Would that help?
You can read it so it's on TV, but I just thought for the audience if they wanted to see it.
We're getting close.
about.
We're almost
No,
there.
9.1.
So from what John just stated, so Care House, 750, Interfaith Volunteers, 450, Chore, which is automatically taken out, that's $3,000, McCrest, 500, Samaritan House, 7,000, Turning Point, 1,500, Maggie's Wigs for Kids, 750, Single Family Living, which is the new one, 480.
I support your motion.
That would be my motion.
You can go a little bit up more.
Scroll
Keep
down.
going.
The other one.
No, the other one. She needs the other screen, the other.
Keep going. Keep going.
No, go the other way.
Is that it?
It's the
No.
next, it's the
It's
next
under
document.
info. Go
I
to
didn't see it.
unfinished.
It's
No,
the
it's
next,
9.1.
It's the next section on there.
It's the
the
next,
next one.
it's the next item, 9.1.
Under the unfinished business, the allocation, I think, will show that. The recommendation.
It's okay.
The allocation of community development? Yeah, that one.
Okay, so we have a motion by Chaplin, supported by
There it
Stevenson.
is. Okay,
If you scroll down a little bit.
there it is.
Oh, that's a different.
Well, it shows it right there.
Well, okay, sure.
The amounts.
Okay, again, motion by Chaplin, supported by Stevenson, with the amounts as listed with the change, modifying Care House to 750, modifying Maggie's Wigs for Kids for 750, and modifying Single Family Living to 480 from what's in the board packet. So a total of $14,430. Roll call.
Chaplin.
Yes.
Stevenson.
Yes.
Brown. Yes. Praviti.
Yes.
Nicely.
Yes.
Mylum.
Yes.
Reinhold.
Yes.
Okay, thank you guys for coming out. We'll have information on our website too for all the organizations.
Thank you.
Sometimes it's hard to give away money.
Thank you.
We wish we could give more money away. So next is, let me get to it, sorry. Shoot, 2.1. So next is, I really have to give the background on this. I'm requesting a motion to request the Planning Commission to review of all zoning ordinances related to data centers and direct the Planning Commission to, 1, review the provisions of the Township zoning ordinance regarding the regulation of data centers. Number 2, consider the zoning ordinance amendments if necessary. 3, conduct the required public hearings on any proposed amendments to the regulation of data centers. And 4, provide a recommendation to the Township Board for consideration when they are complete. I don't know if, Bob, do you want to elaborate better on this, or good?
It's up to you. You want me?
Yeah. You can explain it better.
Yeah, we had talked about this before, and the proper way to do this, and I'm not going to get into what other communities have done, but there have been some communities that have taken the approach of adopting a moratorium. And as I have indicated to this board, there's very sparse Michigan authority, by authority I mean case law, that deals with the issue of a moratorium. And there is nothing in the Michigan Zoning Enabling Act that authorizes a moratorium. The very few cases that have even considered it have given passing discussion of it. The general consensus is that moratorium in limited circumstances may be enforceable, but it cannot come from this board. The legislative body cannot simply by a motion or resolution declare a moratorium. There was a case that was decided in the United States District Court in 2018, where the very issue of whether or not a board could do that was before the court. Now, while a federal district court case is not binding on Michigan courts, it is the only case that is available that deals with the process. And in that case, the federal judge concluded that placing a moratorium on a land use, in that case it was a wind turbine, but it's the same analysis here, is a zoning regulation. By saying by regulation that you are not permitting a specific land use for a temporary period of time is a regulation of land. And regulation of land is done by a zoning ordinance amendment. And zoning ordinance amendments start under the Michigan Zoning Enabling Act by the Planning Commission. The Planning Commission will review your current ordinance. The Planning Commission will determine, it's clearly the term data center is not going to be in your zoning ordinance, and that's very true as new uses come along. Zoning ordinance need to be updated and they need to be revised to deal with new land uses that become available. Now it's a data center. 2 years from now it'll be another use, and 5 years after that it'll be another one. And your ordinance will, is a living document, and it gets revised accordingly. So by sending it back to the Planning Commission will meet with your planning consultant and any subject matter experts. Certainly your township consulting engineers will likely provide their input, and there may be other subject matter experts that they may want to talk to regarding the specific and unique characteristics of data centers that may not be shared with other uses. So the Planning Commission will take a look at it. They will likely, after going through your ordinance, first make a determination as to the type of zone that data center should be placed in. You clearly cannot exclude them blanket. That is not going to be upheld by a court. That is not going to be upheld by a court, and it doesn't do you any good.
Okay, please.
It does not do you any good to take a meat axe to it and to simply ban a use for which there's a demonstrated need and have a court strike it down. If it's a case that's filed under Michigan law, it'll be in Macomb Circuit. If there are federal claims, it'll be in the United States District Court in Detroit, and those judges will decide whether or not it's permissible or not. And I can tell you right now, a blanket prohibition would not be. So the way to do it, and the way to do it right, is to have your Planning Commission take a look at it, determine what zones are appropriate, and if there's a new zone that needs to be created, you do that. That's what the zoning ordinance is. That's what the
people are the government.
Okay.
The government
Thank you.
We put it on theirs.
Okay, please.
We control that.
Okay, this is the last time I'm warning. Please sit down.
That's the proper process. And once the Planning Commission takes a look at it, they'll determine what zone is appropriate for a data center. Once they've done that, then they will look at the provisions in the existing zoning ordinance to see whether or not some of the provisions would apply to a data center and whether or not they need to be revised or not. I can tell you that Chesterfield Township did this last night. Their board, several weeks ago, voted to do exactly what you're doing, potentially doing tonight, which is to refer to the Planning Commission. Last night, the Township Planning Commission took a look at the zoning ordinance, and they had a discussion about all of the various issues that are unique to data centers. And as time goes on, there's uses that come about that give a fair amount of public outcry, and it's not unusual. And 30 years ago it was mobile home parks. 10 years ago it was wind turbines, and the use has changed. So now Michigan communities and around the country are confronted with data centers, and planning commissions will now take a look at it. They'll get subject matter experts to weigh in on it. They'll deal with the things like noise. They'll deal with water consumption. They'll deal with electricity and all of the other issues. And they will then likely recommend a zoning ordinance amendment, which will require a public hearing, like you would for any other zoning ordinance amendment. That public hearing will be noticed. Members of the public are certainly welcome to attend that meeting and have their say. And then they will make a recommendation. I'm assuming, I don't know how it's going to play out, but I would bet you that the Planning Commission will do that they will put together a zoning ordinance amendment that is tailored to data centers, and then they will submit it to the Township Board for consideration. That final decision is yours. The Planning Commission, as you know, is a recommending body. So when it comes to you, then you will have an opportunity to take a look at it. You can accept it as it is. You can tweak it. You can make revisions to what you think are necessary. You can send it back. But that's the proper way to do it. And if you do it that way, you are going to limit the opportunity for someone to challenge that ordinance, and it gives you a 10 times better legal position in court because you've done it the right way. Taking a knee-jerk reaction, simply banning them and saying we're done with it, is going to get struck down by a court, and you're going to be in a world of hurt when you get sued. Doing it this way is the right way to do it, and I think the Planning Commission is certainly up to the task. And again, you'll have all your subject matter experts there.
Once this is proposed, can council turn that down as well? In consideration of it, can you go say?
Yes, so in layman's term, yeah, once the Planning Commission reviews it, it comes to us for final vote. We can, like you said, we can tweak it, we can approve it, we can vote it down.
You can turn it down and say no to it. Is that
Yeah,
well?
or we could send it back for them to work on it again.
Yeah. You can say no.
Yeah, correct.
Let me answer it to the board, since the questions I take are from the board. The Planning Commission is a recommending body. They do not have the authority with respect to a zoning ordinance amendment to be the final decision maker. Goes to the Planning Commission, they will take public input, they'll talk to subject matter experts, they will hold a public hearing, they will have their planning consultant in consultation with other subject matter experts draft a text amendment to the zoning ordinance which will deal with data centers. Now, I'm projecting that all this is going to happen, but I'm certain this is the way it's going to play out. And when that draft is done, they will have a public hearing on it and they will vote. The vote at the Planning Commission is simply to make a recommendation to this body to approve their recommendation. It will then come to you, and you can take as much time reasonably as you need to digest it, determine whether or not you find it acceptable, and you could vote to approve it. You could vote to reject it. You could vote to modify it. That decision is yours and yours only, and you have that flexibility to do that. So that's the right process to do it, and it certainly gives you a much better legal position if there's a challenge.
It's my understanding that if we don't go by the rules, we could lose complete control over this.
Here's the problem. There is a rule of law in zoning called exclusionary zoning. And let me give you an example because I'm very familiar with it. Back years ago, when I was a young lawyer, I spent probably the better part of a decade representing municipalities in lawsuits filed by mobile home park developers. Back 30 years ago, nobody wanted a mobile home park for whatever reason they could come up with. They didn't want them. And the Michigan Supreme Court came out and said, mobile home parks are a demonstrated need for which you must permit them in your community. So what municipalities would do is they would create a zoning ordinance amendment, and they would take the smallest possible area in the township where you could put a mobile home park. They would put it in an area that was completely undevelopable and say, we've done our due diligence, we've given it to you. And they would get sued all the time. And the courts were regularly holding that the townships were being exclusionary, that they were not providing adequate areas for mobile home parks, and ordinances were being struck down all over the state of Michigan. And then some municipalities finally got some brains, and they did it the right way. They went back, they sent it to the Planning Commission, they had their planners get involved, and they designated areas that could reasonably accommodate them. They put together zoning ordinance criteria that would deal with the density, the usage of water, whatever the issues were, they would put it together. Then the ordinances were bulletproof. Then when they were getting sued, the developers were losing because the municipalities did it right. So if you do it right, you are a 10 times better position. You know, you have to assume that as these new users come in, that there is a strong possibility that there's going to be litigation. The litigation could come from the developer. It could come from aggrieved parties who may surround the property. The best way for the township to protect the residents is to make sure that you have crossed your T's and dotted your I's on the procedure. If you play by the rules and you have adequate procedure, when you walk into a courtroom, you are 10 times in a better position than you will be if you just do a knee-jerk reaction, deal with it, don't follow the rules. Those are always struck down. And when that happens, if a court finds that your zoning ordinance is exclusionary and you have not provided for uses for which there is a demonstrated need, your zoning ordinance is deemed invalid. At that point, the court can determine whether or not the proposed use is reasonable on a specific piece of property, and the court can order that it go in. That's a bad spot to be in. I've been in that spot before with municipalities, and you don't want to be there. And you don't have to be there if you do it right. And that's what you're doing tonight. You're sending it back, you're letting the process play out, you're letting the experts take a look at it, and you're addressing it. And you're not the only community that's doing it. It's happening all over the state of Michigan. So that's the way to do it, and this is the right way and the legal way to do it.
Not really, but I'll let you.
I appreciate it.
Sorry.
I guess I would ask, while this process is taking place, what is the impact to the current applicant and future applicants while zoning is under?
That's a bad idea. Don't do that. For the reason is the applicant has a pending rezoning application before the Planning Commission. The worst thing you can do is at a township board meeting, it's not before you yet. It is before the Planning Commission. They are considering it, all right? For you now at a public meeting at the township board level to weigh in on that application is going to put you 5 steps back from where you need to be. Let the process play out. Let the Planning Commission address it. They will make a recommendation on the rezoning, up or down. Whatever that recommendation is, it will come to this board. It's my understanding that the applicant is going to come back in April before the Planning Commission. That could be delayed again. But whenever it comes back for a vote, the Planning Commission will vote it up or down by way of a recommendation. They will say, we recommend that it be denied for the following reasons, and they'll have a good record. Or we recommend that it be approved for the following reasons. It's not a specific use yet. It's a rezoning. It will then come to this board for a final decision. That's up to you. If and when it gets rezoned, and it may not, but if it does get rezoned, then an applicant has an opportunity to come in for approval for a specific use. That's when your zoning ordinance provisions dealing with a particular use will kick in. Whether it's a data center, a factory, or whatever it is, you've got ordinances in place to deal with it. So I think it's a bad idea to discuss a pending application that's not before you yet. Sorry.
No, you're fine. Thank you.
So,
Okay. We gave everybody here an opportunity to speak without interrupting. Please give everybody here at the board the opportunity to reply back. He's trying his best to protect the residents. I've known this man for 10 years. He will do everything he can to protect the residents in the best way that he can, following the law.
Thank you.
Sam, sorry. The statement,
That was my motion.
The statement of the motion, I was just going to ask, did you make that in the form of a motion?
Yes.
Okay, then I'll support that motion.
Should I read it again? Or
You should read it.
You can read it again if you want.
You should read it.
Okay, so it's a motion by myself, Praviti, supported by Chaplin. Our motion is from the Board of Trustees to send a proposed motion to the Planning Commission to review the zoning ordinance related to data centers and direct the Planning Commission members to, 1, review the provisions of the Township zoning ordinance regarding the regulation of data centers, 2, to consider zoning ordinance amendments if necessary.
Excuse me,
3,
Supervisor.
conduct, yes.
Can we get the chatter to stop back there?
Okay.
I'm going to ask that you leave the room. I'm not joking. I can't hear him and I can't follow you at the same time. You're being very disrespectful. Thank you, I'm sorry.
Okay, thanks. 3, conduct the required public hearing of any proposed amendments to the regulation of data centers. And 4, provide a recommendation of the Township Board of Consideration. So that's a motion by me, supported by Chaplin. If this is passed, this will be at our March 12th Planning Commission meeting right here at 6:30. So I'm notifying you all now, but it'll be all obviously published, but I'm telling you guys that now. If there's no questions on the motion, otherwise roll call.
Praviti?
Yes.
Chaplin?
Yes.
Reinhold?
Yes.
Mylum?
Yes.
Stevenson?
Yes.
Nicely?
Yes.
Brown? Yes.
Okay, so motion passed. Dana Bergback. Dana Bergback's our planning and zoning director, so please put that on our next meeting for Planning Commission, March 12th.
Don't tell them where to find us.
Yeah. I have to set up for the budget meeting. I'm wondering if we could take a 5-minute recess and reconvene because the TV's got to hook up to my computer. So I'll make a motion for a 5-minute recess and reconvene at 8:05. Yeah, if anyone has to use a bathroom.
If anybody wants to stick around for
All in favor?
dry budget discussion, you're
Aye.
welcome.
All right, okay, motion passed.
He's going to do a budget review.
That's 5 minutes.
You ask any unnecessary questions, I swear to God, I'll deal with you.
Sam, could you give us a detailed overview of the budget, each line item?
No, this is more just like an overview of what we're,
Oh, stupid, I
I would
will.
love,
I've always,
Yeah, but I will lose it. You will.
like when people have.
I'd like to make a motion to go back into open session.
Support.
Supported by Stevenson. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. It's 8:08. We're 3 minutes extra on our break, sorry. So this is something I've done every year as we prepare, as we've been working on our budget. Our fiscal year ends on March 31st each year. This is kind of just a quick presentation to the board on items we've done the last few years, and just to get the board thinking on as we prepare for our budget. The flow of the process, just to give the board an update, the governmental funds budgets have been drafted with department heads. You will be presented all these funds during our February workshops. I'd like to present for the next 4 Thursdays at 3 o'clock to do the budget workshops. So I don't know if I need to make a motion on that, or I can just set that up. Okay, so I'll be sending invites. The first one will be tomorrow at 3 o'clock. You will all be provided these funds during the workshops. The purpose of today is just to obtain any feedback to allow the finance team to complete the budget for all the funds. Today we will focus on the overall goals to ensure that we are on the right track. This is not any type of final review of any type of figures. That occurs at the March 4th public hearing of the budget. We will also identify any certain strategic non-dollar initiatives for the next year. Our financial goals, as always, is to maintain overall millage rate. We currently operate under all millage rates, maintain our AA bond rating, and continue to operate financially responsible with the budget. Roads are always a top priority, although controlled by the Macomb County Department of Roads. We have completed a lot of roads over the last few years, including West Road, the 32-mile and Mound intersection, Mound Road from 26 to 28 mile, the campground intersection, roundabout there, the M53, this was state paid from 27 to 33, they redid that about 1.5 years ago, and 30-mile road from Mound to Kildare. PPP work is preventative pavement preservation work that the county does. They basically do a thin, I don't know how to describe it, like a grinding of the road, and then they do an overlay of asphalt. They did portions of 29-mile road, 27-mile road, 26-mile, the Van Dyke ramp last year on M53, which caused a lot of ruckus in the town, and also 30-mile to finish from Kildare to Van Dyke. So we've done a lot the last few years. Roads projects that are in process. A few years ago, we did approve the Powell Road from 30.5 to 32 mile. That work is supposed to begin sometime in this year. We did receive a TAP grant to do Mound Road from 29 to 32. This is expected sometime in 2027 or 28, hoping this year. Wish list items, every year I present a wish list to the Macomb County Department of Roads. They include portions of Van Dyke from 29 to 32, portions of 28 mile, 29 mile, Mount Vernon, and 31 mile.
Should we be in the next slide? Is that information?
No, that's right there. Oh, sorry, wish list, that's okay. There are 2 roads that a lot of the residents continue to ask for. Last year we did the design work through our engineers, Giffords Webster, to design Shaner Road from 26 to 27 mile, and also the small portion of Snell Road, which is in our part in Macomb County. Shaner Road, we continue to believe that that would help alleviate a lot of the traffic on Jewel and Van Dyke if Shaner was paved. Also, Snell Road has become the new resident cut-through to get to Auburn Hills and Oakland County. So you don't realize the amount of traffic that's going through that area. We've done a count, it's about 4,000 cars a day. So there's a lot of traffic there, and our police are constantly monitoring that. So these, because they're designed, they're considered shovel-ready. So we are in the hopes that the Macomb County Department of Roads may call us one day and say, hey, we have an opening. Do you have any shovel-ready projects? And we could present these projects and hopefully get these done. Some general and public improvement items to discuss. This list has gone down over the years, which I'm proud to report. That means we're getting a lot of things accomplished. These are items that remain kind of as areas to improve in our township. 31 mile from Powell to Van Dyke. There's been no commitment from the Macomb County Public Roads to do that portion. 31 mile from Sisson to Hidden Oaks. There's been no commitment on that. Our sidewalk program, we've been doing 3 to 4 years on that with a lot of connectivity. We've spent on average around $1 million a year. We've committed to that. I'm proposing this year to take a dramatic decrease in that because we've got a lot of grants working on for the next year and a half. So I'd rather continue the grant work, which won't cost the township money at this time, and kind of reduce the cost on that as for the current fiscal year as we just work on easement acquisition. I'll get into this more later in the slide, but our internal drive, I call it the cul-de-sac. We have the portion there on Eubanks and Grubner. What's that? Grubner. I was right, yeah. Our new internal street there at 30 and Powell. We have 33 acres that remain there that's township owned to possibly make that a cul-de-sac and possibly sell off smaller lots in that area for that area there. Again, 26 to 27 mile possibility in Snell. We have done the design work on that. The design work is good for like over a decade, but hopefully within the next couple years, the county will pave one or the other or both. Our limestone program, every year we do a limestone program, which does 3 miles. It's with the county. It costs $35,000. We've gone through every road in the county, every road in the township, I should say, with the limestone. Limestone both brings pros and cons with it. It does help build up the road and make it stronger, but we also get tons of complaints because of the buildup of the road and the dust concerns of the limestone. Last year we took a hiatus for 1 year, but I know Rich was telling me we need to do it.
We should go back this year.
So we have a road, we'll go through that in our budget. The last 4 or 5 years, we've been trying to spend $15,000 to $25,000 on cemetery renovations. We have a lot of older cemeteries with, depending with fencing, tree removals due to damaging some of the graves, headstone preservation. So that's another option there. We have talked about this for a while, but we should do a traffic study for the northern part of our township. We've done one in the southern part a few years ago, and just to see how traffic has changed over the years in our township. I just put the last one, any future road resurfacing. When I first became an officer here, as a trustee, it was $500,000 a mile. Obviously, over the years now, it's over $2 million a mile, so this is just food for thought as prices have gone dramatically up. Upcoming development, these are developments in the township, residential. As you see, we have the subdivisions on the left side of the screen are in developmental stage. They are not ready for construction. I have listed all those subs that, some of them have been on there for a few years, awaiting to be developed. Some have may be ready in the upcoming year. In red, I put the number of units of each development there. The building stage, these are the subs that are currently, they've been active for several years. The majority, as you can see, are a lot of just the remaining lots in each sub, so they're very little in each one. As of right now, for the current fiscal year, we have proposed 100 residential permits, and we are at around 94 units so far for this year. In the heyday of Washington Township, with the rise of permits, we were always over 250 permits per year in the early 2000s. The last several years has been a decline of under 100 per year. Sorry, let's go here. Commercial development, I've put in the building stage, these are non-residential. In our village district, the ZF expansion is almost complete. There's one more area they're completing. This is the Rite Aid at 26 Mile Road. They are working to subdivide that into 2 or 3 units. That is underway. Washington Place, the old Hampton house, is currently being renovated to become a multi-unit commercial spot. They're on West Road and Van Dyke. Newberry South, this is the property behind the Rite Aid facing Van Dyke that is currently breaking ground right now with underground as we speak right now. And then we have Washington 27, which is a multi-tenant, the commercial, that's the building closer to the campground, Van Dyke roundabout there. In the northern part of our township, Art and Jake's is building a new retail center, which is just south of them, south of the Grubner Library. There'll be 3 buildings there with a drive-through. Across the street from there is the Romeo Washington Medical Building that's currently being built, and in front of there is the Leo's Coney Island strip mall that's being built. At 31 in Van Dyke, the old Rite Aid there is becoming the Sheena's fuel station / drive-through in there. Behind there on 31 Mile, Mr. C's Car Wash is underway as they tore down the old Capitol Banquet Center there. Romeo Square Commercial Condos, that is the development in front of the Tractor Supply, or is that Farmer? Sorry. In front of Tractor Supply, next to Arby's there on the outlots there of the old Kmart area there. Washington Parkway Industrial Condo, that is back at 30 Mile and Powell, the property that's on our internal drive there. Those lots are for sale there. Developmental stage, non-residential again, in our northern part of the township. It is called Michelangelo Retail. It's just south of Heidelberg. It's a 1-acre parcel that's being developed into a multi-unit retail building. Our own Romeo District, the Grubner Library there, north of 30 Mile, they're planning to expand the library. And Samaritan House is building an accessory building that is underway currently as we talk. New businesses from the past year is Calliope Bookstore, MC Dental in Frontier Town. Daily Bread has opened, the new bakery there. The Chatitas, the Mexican place, has not only expanded, but is expanding even more in there. On 31 Mile, I apologize, I don't have the name. It's the fundraiser blanket. It's the 2 local residents that they were on Shark Tank. They've opened a business, and not just schools, but other groups can make blankets for a fundraiser, and they actually were picked up by Shark Tank, so it's kind of neat. It's here locally, right here on 31 Mile. Yeah, I'm proud to report all the units on Van Dyke. We're limited to commercial along Van Dyke, not on any other roadways. We're at about 95% occupancy. We have about 3 vacant units throughout from 26 to 32, which is great. First Choice Urgent Care opened up at 26 in Van Dyke, and we have Rosie's Kitty Cafe that opened at 26 in Mound. Building department, again, permits continue. They've dropped over the years. On average, currently we're thinking, as I was told today, we were at 94, 95 permits so far for the current fiscal year, so we may hit the 100 by March 31st. Because of that drop, it has allowed the building department to patrol more for code enforcement around the township. Our building department has been on more features online, including accepting payments online, a generic email to share the info among all the building department clerical, so information flows faster. And again, with the online fillable forms, which have expedited forms and made it a lot easier for residents to fill out the forms rather than coming in person in the old-fashioned way. For those interested, you're still welcome to come in, of course. We've also cross-trained the roles. We are updating our BSNA April 1st with the new BSNA cloud. We've also had field inspectors for the last 2 years use online tablets. This helps speeds up the process for permitting fees. Our fire department, I've listed several accomplishments over the years. We continue to invest in our fire department. Most recently, at the end of the year, you can see all the things we've done over the last several years, the bigger items, but at the end of last year, we ordered new long lead ambulance, long lead new ladder truck. We approved a new fire station at 30 Mile and Powell per ISO standards. where they recommend it to be. Upcoming now in 2026 to continue the construction of this, along with the training center and live burn center. As a possible future project, we have secured 5 acres of land on 31 Mile between Campground and Mound as a possible future Fire Station 4. And updates to Fire Station 1 may be needed in the future, just to keep the building up to date, more mechanical type stuff. Police, we've invested a lot in police, which I'm proud to report. We operate under the Macomb County Sheriff's Office. Since, how should I say, we have 14 deputies and a school liaison upon 2021. In 2022, we added a traffic enforcement officer and a motor carrier officer. In 2023, we added an afternoon traffic enforcement officer. These 3 officers are strictly dedicated to roads, which have really increased, a lot of presence on the road, and it's amazing. The amount of complaints I have gotten for traffic has reduced dramatically, but again, there's always obviously need for traffic control. In 2024, we renewed our 3-year contract. 2025, we added a command officer, which is like our own specialized local chief of police, per se, in layman's terms, here in our own township, rather than dealing with a command officer in Mount Clemens. This has been a great voice for the community, not only for us, but helping with local traffic concerns with the 2 elementary schools in our area, the high school and the 9th grade academy. We've built a mobile enforcement station, which a lot of people have called the way station. That is that piece of property between Van Dyke Expressway and the Van Dyke ramp. That's we've called that a mobile enforcement station. The police will use that periodically. It's a safe spot for if they need to pull over a gravel hauler, they can pull them over there, weigh the truck, and get them back on the road. Expediting the process, a lot safer for both the traffic and for the police officer involved. Most recently, we were donated a K-9 unit, which is dedicated to Washington Township. And we've been part of the SAVES program, which was implemented in Washington Township as a pilot in Macomb County, which hopefully will be spread out throughout the county in the upcoming months. Preserving green space has always been a key to our township. We have preserved many spaces. Most notably, we've purchased 27 acres on Mound, the former Hawks Acres. In our lobby, we have a survey out there of what you would like to see. Our planning consultant is working on how to develop this over the next 5 to 10 years. We are also getting the high school involved to help work on different areas of this to present to the board as well. I'm also proud to report to the Thornton Schoolhouse. As everyone remembers, the end of October, we moved it from its current location because the property was 1/8 of an acre. It wasn't big enough for parking or for a septic field to refurbish it. So we moved it to the 5-acre parcel just a quarter mile down the road, which is currently being worked on by Romeo High School trade students. Expected completion date will be in 2027 next year. And again, that's been a hands-on project with the school. We had them design the park. So we're going kind of off of the winner of that program out of 25 students, and now we are working on restoring the schoolhouse. Here's a list of township properties that the township does own. We own the 34 acres of industrial on 30 in Powell. We have the property on Pilgrim and Van Dyke, which was slated for possible future parking lot there. We own 10 acres on 31 Mile that I've been speaking about, 5 acres for the Thornton Park and 5 acres for the future fire station. At 28 in Jewel, we have property there, mostly wetlands, but I continue to explore the possibility of making it some sort of a natural park in that area due to the limitations of the wetlands in that area. Thank you. We own the Aikman property, which I have always pushed for the splash park there, but that is the property on 29. It wraps around the Rite Aid there at 29 and Van Dyke. We own 4 acres in front of Hevel Elementary, which is off of 29 Mile Road. We have the Gilcher Christmas Park, which there's been a lot of construction there by our own DPW department to bring infrastructure in there to build a new pavilion and bathroom that's been long awaited in that park. Our wastewater treatment plant sits on 13 acres where I did put proposed DPW building, but as of this afternoon, it was approved, so our new DPW building will be built there on their property. The current municipal park and Township Hall where we are standing right now, the Washington Memorial Park, which is at 27 on Van Dyke. On 31 Mile, we do own property there. Again, I put partial wetlands. It's a lot of wetlands. It's about 30 acres of wetland there, but I've been speaking to the planner. It would be a good idea to put a trail park through there that would connect the area there for people to walk there. Again, Hawks Acres, we have 27 acres that I like to call a conservation property, and as we develop that. We own the property at WBRW Studio, which is at Wicker Street. We have 3 current operating fire stations in our current DPW building, which is behind fire station number 2, behind Westview Orchards. So I'll get, I think the next. So for the 34 acres we do own, I would like the board to discuss this year, either if we would either sell this 34 acres and put this out to sale, or I kind of had Mike Kozak, our engineer, draw up a rough mock-up of possibly splitting this out by making these smaller parcels and selling this off. This concept is done in other communities, and there's a lot of interest for smaller acreage in this industrial area. The projects for our DPW water and sewer department, the next 2 are kind of on the back burner for the next 2 to 3 years. Water along 31 Mile has always been presented to help connect from Campground to Van Dyke. Due to easements, this project has been sitting on hold. 28 Mile Mount Vernon, this also has been put on hold due to easement acquisition. We do a meter changeout. We do about 200 a year. This has been ongoing. We're about 50% complete in the township. So hopefully within the next year to 2, this will be completed. Our new hydrant maintenance program, the same thing. We have less than 100 to go, so we're hoping to complete this within the next year, year and a half. Our new DPW building, which we just approved this afternoon, it is in design and bid as we talk. Van Dyke between 28 and 29, I have been a big proponent to extend water and sewer in this area just because the area sits desolate there, and we get approached by so many builders that just want to build storage units there, and I'd hate for that 1 mile just to be full of storage units, so we're looking at the possibility of putting water and sewer there to help spark that part of the commercial corridor there of 28 to 29 Mile, which again is up for discussion. On Jewel Road, the lift station is about 40-some years. The study has been complete by Fishbeck. We will be presenting it to the board. We're looking at a minimum of about $2.5 million to fix this pump station, the lift station, sorry. Our SCADA system, again, we're almost nearly complete. It's about $225,000 for this year from the Water and Sewer Fund, and the second year at $50,000, and we should hopefully be complete by next year. Our wastewater treatment plant, I have been asking for tank covers for many years. It was approved back in '22, and we're still waiting for them. So I'm hoping they'll come soon. Sewer manhole replacement, this is ongoing yearly, and I have that listed at $350. And our Neptune AMI towers, we bought one in 2023, and we have one left to go to buy. This list, too, used to be 2 pages. We're way down, so we've accomplished a lot in the last few years. We all sat through the DPW presentation this afternoon, but this was the proposal that was accepted this afternoon to build a new 50,000 square foot DPW building. This will help store all of our equipment that currently sits outside. Our current DPW facility is a glorified 3-car garage that was built in the late 70s. A lot of our equipment, especially when the weather's below zero, is very hard to operate and causes a lot of manpower. I'm proposing to keep the original DPW building more for seasonal type stuff, so not to clutter up the new facility. And basically that's it. I put a little drawing of the building here that we reviewed today. I'd like to continue. We do have a great partnership with the Macomb County Drain Commission, Public Works, Candace Miller's office, and I like to show this one picture, but this is the Mount Vernon drain. The cost share is very minimal to the township. They basically clean out the county drain, and this past year they did the Healy Brook drain, and they really clean it out. It helps, obviously, water flow in the area, preventing any type of flooding in the area, so I'd like to continue that project. Again, our sidewalk master plan, we're going on our 4th year. We've done a ton of sidewalk connectivity to Hovell Elementary, Powell Middle School. I guess I should call it 9th grade academy now, sorry. Romeo High School, of course, 29 Mile Road, lots of portions on Van Dyke and Jewel. I'm going to present in this budget to obviously cut it down from our usual $1 million a year, just because we have a lot of TAP grants that we received the TAP grant for the upcoming year for crosswalks along all the cross trails of the Macomb Orchard Trail along West Road, 31 Mile, 30 Mile, 28 Mile. There'll be one new one across here from Township Pod across Van Dyke safely, and also one at Gilcher Park on 29 Mile. We received $840,000 in the new bridge here at 26 Mile Road between Jewel and M53 that was just installed in the fall. This was all paid for through funding from SEMCOG and ARPA funds. We also, in total, we received about $1.8 million in grants and pathways. We received $706,000, which they are working on easements currently. This should hopefully, between this year and next year, connect 32 Mile from the Wingate subdivision all the way to downtown Romeo, which would connect people safely from walking ability to the middle school, which was the former high school, to downtown Romeo and the Macomb Orchard Trail. The crosswalks, as I mentioned, we received $194,000 in the crosswalk grant and the $840,000 in the bridge I just spoke about. A lot of you have seen the new signage going up. This was approved, I believe, 1 year ago, January. Some of these signage are starting to go up to basically show off our branding and our name here, our logo. I would like this one on the 26 Mile Bridge. I keep showing that one. But over the next year or two, you'll start seeing the other intersections being completed. Other items for the board to consider, as always, is logistics, continued delays, shortages, tariffs, vendors, suppliers. It's always a constant. Ever since COVID, hasn't been a normalcy in vendor and shipment. Again, the continuation of roughly 100 home permits. To review again, cemetery cost and maintenance. Again, there are some destruction of plots, large trees that the roots are eating up. Plot cost review. Look into securing and always preserving more natural land to keep our rural areas intact and explore other areas to keep historic buildings. Our Parks and Rec Commission is finishing up their master plan as they develop each of our parks with pavilions and bathrooms, and we're excited. Our new BSNA upgrade is coming April 1st. We'll be going to the cloud, which is going to be a major overhaul to the staff here at the township. So please be patient with all of us. Obviously, the economic future is always a question mark. This year is also an election year, a midterm election, so there will be election changes locally between county commissioner to state rep to state senate to all the state offices as well as some federal offices. And as we just voted on, continuation of zoning ordinance updates and amendments we'll be discussing this year. So what's next? So as I said, I'd like to set up the workshops, which I have already discussed. Over the next 3 to 4 Thursdays, I'll send out meeting invites. They'll all be held at 3 o'clock on the 4 Thursdays in February. I would like to make a motion so we can properly call for the March 4th budget presentation to allow for a public hearing of the budget presentation. So did I make that? So seconded by Charles Reinhold. Sorry, if we can make a roll call for March 4th, budget presentation, public hearing. Sorry, roll call. Sorry.
Okay, sorry. Pravidi?
Yes.
Reinhold?
Yes.
Brown? Yes. Nicely?
Yes.
Chaplin?
Yes.
Mylum?
Yes.
Stevenson?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So March 4th will be the budget presentation. It'll be a very in-depth meeting. We'll be going slide by slide, but there won't be the final vote that evening. Then on March 19th, the proposed budget will be voted on for acceptance or denial. Until then, the public's free to email me or any board member. Feel free to call us with any questions, ideas, or comments. The public, again, is welcome. The next 4 Thursdays, we will have it live streaming. Oh, sorry, my mouse is unplugged. Let me get to my calendar, sorry. So the public is welcome to watch them or come in person. Thursdays, February 5th, 12th, 19th, and 26th at 3 p.m. And they are workshops, so nothing can be voted on. There won't be any, I don't want anyone to feel that anything will be slid through as an agenda item. Is that the correct way to say it? They're just working workshops because we have to be an Open Meetings Act, so the board can communicate, but the public can obviously watch and participate. There'll also be opportunities for the public to obviously ask questions and comment as well.
So, should I say something? It's important to note that no decisions are made at these workshops.
Yeah, there's no decision.
No decisions made at the workshops.
Can we Zoom them? Can they be Zoomed?
I'll allow, they're not voted, so I can have it Zoom if the board members.
What is your question?
Sorry. Since these are workshops, if a trustee wants to Zoom in to watch.
Yeah, that's fine. You can't do
We're not
that.
voting.
You can't do that at a legislative meeting because the Open Meetings Act doesn't allow it.
Okay.
But
Because we have a
if it's
meeting tomorrow.
Yes.
But I just found out
I'm sorry.
5 minutes ago.
But if it's a workshop, there's certainly no problem.
We're against the clock. We're against the clock. So, I mean, WBRW, I'll put you on the spot. We can do a Zoom thing tomorrow? Or a Google Meet or something? Okay. We'll send out the invite in the morning with the link. I don't want to say the wrong thing. So basically, this is just to give a flavor to the board again, obviously to the community, where we've been, what we're working on, what we're hoping for the future. One thing I didn't put here is there's been a lot of talk at the state level. They've taken away a lot of the state revenue sharing, which has hurt not just Washington, but all 1,200 townships across the state of Michigan. So, I mean, they are taking away funding from each municipality. The idea is this money is supposed to go to road work, but there's a lot of, I'm hearing there's a lot of discussion and hold up with that part of the process. So, without getting too political on that. So, that's another thing for the back of all of our minds as we enter into our budget workshop season. So, no motion is needed on this presentation. I'll email this out to you. Right now, I don't know why I don't have that shared tab, but I'll send this out to you guys. But
So the March 4th meeting is at 6:30?
That's a normal, 6:30.
Yeah, our regular.
Yeah, regular board. We have to do it now so they can put it in the paper for public notice. I'm not sure how long it takes to put it in the paper. Yeah. With that, are there any comments from the audience on agenda or non-agenda items? Feel free to come to the podium. You have 3 minutes. Please state your name and address.
Evening, Mr. Supervisor. Sean Weber here, 75508 Romeo Plank Road. I simply want to say I object to the premise of the township's legal counsel stating that it is unlawful for the township to state a moratorium. We're not asking for a permanent ban on data centers. I've never called for that up here from the public comment. That would be exclusionary zoning and would put the township in jeopardy. I am, however, calling for a 180-day moratorium on light industrial and industrial IRT rezoning applications. To my knowledge, that should not create legal jeopardy with the current applicant. It would just simply prevent applications from coming behind it. With that being said, that is all. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi. I just wanted to talk to basically the attorney, because what you were saying when you were explaining how the law works with this data center, you were saying everything that was corporate law. The Constitution is the law of the land, and we, the people, are the government. We tell the government what they can and cannot do. Corporations do not trump we, the people. Your whole job is against we, the people, because you follow corporate rule. We, the people, follow the Constitution. You need to realize that threatening with us with a lawsuit is violating your Constitution, our constitutional rights as we, the people. You don't understand constitutional law because you've been taught maritime law. You've been taught corporate law. You need to learn the constitutional law. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Anyone else? Okay, going once, going twice. Next is elected officials update, community announcements. We will be closed on President's Day, which, I don't know, is that February 16th?
I think it's the 19th.
It is the third Monday, I know.
16th?
Monday, February 16th. I know we always mention that the Lions Club then begins their fish fries during Lent, so everyone please feel free to support the Lions Club. I know I reported this last time. My son plays at the Romeo hockey. They had the Watchdog game. I'm proud to report they raised $5,900, which is going to the Rainbow Connection. Oh, thank you. It's in Rochester, and it helps children, obviously, with cancer. Sadly, they lost the game, but it was a good game. And I think that's all I have for now. I think I talked a lot tonight. I don't know if you guys.
Yeah. Just a reminder for everybody that the taxes are going to be due on February 28th. Because that's a Saturday, there's an allowance to make sure that taxes are received on or before the end of the 8 o'clock on March the 3rd, which is Tuesday. So we'll have that extra day. Anything that's trapped in the mail will also be received and counted for to make sure we get that posted correctly for you and there's no penalty as long as we receive that before the end of the day on March the 3rd. So if you drop something over the weekend, we receive it over the weekend or that following Monday, it will still count. Anything after that date, we will not be able to accept it. Everything will be turned over to the county, so make sure you try to get that in as quickly as you can. On another note, there's a Special Olympics polar plunge taking place at the end of February. And if you'd like to make a donation, this all goes to the Special Olympic teams here in Michigan. The website is www.classy.org/team, TEAM, /794943. So if you'd like to make a donation to the Special Olympics and watch people jump into the freezing cold weather, you can do that.
Are you jumping in?
Where
No.
are they doing that?
They'll be doing it at Macrae's down in Harrison Township. You heard Marty Hutton talk about the passing of Mickey Lolich. I've had an opportunity to meet with him several times. He was an extremely nice man. He let me try on his 1968 World Series ring, and it was an honor to be able to meet him. And I still think, even though he was in a wheelchair at the time I met him, he could still throw a fastball down the home plate. I just want to wish their family condolences and thank you, Mickey, for all that he's done for the community here and remaining here in Washington Township. He could have gone any place that he wanted to, but he stayed here, and his kids even graduated from Romeo. So God bless his family, and we're going to miss Mickey Lowell July.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Monday, March 2nd should be our next ZBA meeting, but we have no applicants, so that's canceled. But we do have a planning commission meeting March 12th, so we'll be notifying that. Our next Board of Trustee meeting will be February 18th, and I think that's all.
I would just like to add one more thing. I did talk to Supervisor Previti on the break. I would like to request that we have a deputy at our next meeting like this. I felt very unsafe tonight for the first time that I've ever served on a board here. I've seen what has happened to other trustees, other supervisors, and people speaking. And this is the first time that I've ever felt that in our community. I thought it was very rude when Supervisor Previti was speaking, with our attorney was speaking. I know people can get excited, but remember, we live here with you. We are residents with you. We choose to do this, and it's not for the pay. It's very little money. It's just because our hearts are in it. And I want you to understand that what you're feeling is usually what we're feeling up here. We're just not allowed to say exactly how we're feeling.
Thank you. With that, we have no correspondence, so with that, I'll make a motion to adjourn. Supported by Stevenson. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you, everyone, and drive home safely. Thank you.